There's some things that I hope that you've probably heard about us, and there are really four core things I wanted to mention first this morning before we get you going. One is this college is a liberal arts college. We have a deep commitment to the liberal arts. This is when I make my joke about you do not have to be a Democrat to go to a liberal arts college. That is a joke. Not the part that you don't have to be a Democrat, but the other part. Okay. Anyway. Who knows the word that liberal comes from, the Latin word? Any Latin students out there or Spanish? Liber, anybody know what that means? What's it sound like? What other word? Liberty, which means freedom. And so a liberal arts college is designed to give you exposure and information and thinking opportunities about a wide variety of topics to free up your thinking, to make you more able to function out in the world with all kinds of problems that come your way. Maryville College has been a liberal arts college for almost 200 years and will always continue to be so. We think it's the best way to educate people for today's world. We also, as you know, have a strong relationship to the church. We were founded by Presbyterians. We are related to the Presbyterian Church USA. I hasten to say we are not a Christian college in that we don't require everybody here to be a Christian. What we do believe is that every single person in this room is on their own personal spiritual path, and we want to do everything we can to foster that growth and development because we believe that is a very big, important part of who a human being is. We have a strong sense of community. Now, every college and university in the country says, we have a really great community. I think what you'll find today from our faculty and our staff, and most importantly our students, is that community really does matter here. We are tinier than almost every high school represented here, and we know each other. Sometimes that can be real annoying, but most of the time it means that we take good care of each other, and we know what's going on, and we look after our community and keep it respectful and an honest place to be. And finally, we value diversity and we value service. The founder of Maryville College, Dr. Isaac Anderson, you'll hear a lot about him in the coming months. Anderson Hall is named for him. He came over the mountains from Virginia 200 years ago and founded this place, partly because the wilderness of East Tennessee needed education and needed religion, but he also believed that anyone who was hungry for an education needed a place to be. And so from our beginning, we have educated Native Americans, African Americans. We were the first college in the state of Tennessee to award a degree to a woman and to an African American. And so diversity, welcoming anyone who wants an education, is something that has always been profoundly important here. And that's something that should be very important to you as you become part of this community. It's something to be very proud of. And we expect everyone here to be engaged in serving the world. And so you will graduate from here with a strong ethic about doing good, as Dr. Anderson said, doing good on the largest possible scale. You'll also find in your packets today, and don't go digging now, but every successful corporation or institution has certain statements, mission statements, certain language that define exactly what and who they are and what their purpose is. And that's true of Maryville College, and it's one of the reasons we have been so successful for almost 200 years. And so in there, you're going to find our statement of purpose, our identity statement, our mission statement, and something that you students will hear a lot about, our college covenant, which is a statement that actually students wrote about 26 years ago that establishes tenets that we come together and live in community with. And so as you talk to our peer mentors and our faculty and so forth today and into this fall, you're going to hear certain phrases like to search for truth, to grow in wisdom, and to work for justice. You're going to hear that the tenets of the college covenant are respect and scholarship and integrity. You're going to hear that at Maryville College, we bear witness to God's revelation in Jesus Christ. All of this common language. And what I would challenge you to do is not just discard that sheet of paper, but when you go home, have a family time together and read those things and talk about them, because that is your college. That is what it means to become a Maryville College Scot. As you go through today, I will go ahead and warn you parents, we'll be separating you at one point, and I'll be working with the parents, and we'll have peer mentors and faculty working with the students. And part of that is because we want to symbolically today begin that separation. Here's the thing, parents, we don't want them moving home with you when they're 35. And so today, if you feel moms a little tearful when we drag them away from you, just remember that is our mutual goal. And so we're gonna start that this morning.
Like Allison and Dean Kemp mentioned, I'm Jason Troyer. I'm a psychology faculty member here, and I'm also the Assistant Dean of Academics for the first year college and retention. It does not fit on the name tag. But what that means is that my job is to make sure that you have a smooth transition in terms of academics, in addition to other smooth transitions. I'm starting my 11th year at Maryville College, and I've worked with first year students and advised them from the first year I was here. And so I have a lot of experience working with you, and I've also picked up that some of you, maybe many of you, might be a little bit nervous about the academic transition, getting that first semester schedule figured out, how do I get to classes, am I taking the right classes, all of those things might be a source of a little bit of anxiety for you students and also for some family members. So we're gonna take care of that today. Many of you, probably 95% of you, have gone online already and filled out an academic, a schedule for your first semester. What we're going to do is we're going to double check that schedule today with a faculty member. So that'll happen a little bit later today. The other thing that's going to happen is the academic fair, which will follow this session. Let me tell you a little bit about first year seminar, what we call FYS 110 around here. All first year students are placed in a first year seminar class. We intentionally keep them very small, typically about 17 students per class. I've handpicked the faculty members who are experienced and are really good teachers and really good advisors and great at working with first year students. And so they will be leading the class sessions with a topic that they've chosen. Now what you get to do, and maybe what some of you have already done, is you were sent a link probably about 2 weeks ago where you could go on and rank your top 5 out of the 17 choices. So you can choose 5 topics out of those 17, and I'll be placing all the first year students into their topic section by early August, and you'll be emailed with what topic you're going to be assigned to. So if you don't get your top choice, be mad at me, don't be mad at your instructor. I have some examples of some of the topics up on the slide there. In some cases, we have topics that are in some way major or career related. For example, we have So You Think You Want to Teach, obviously for people who are considering going into the education profession. These are not replacements for the introductory courses for that major. If you want to teach, but you don't get into that So You Think You Want to Teach section, you are not behind the other education majors, for example. So it's going to be based on lots of different factors, but you do have an opportunity to rank those options. The other thing, perhaps more for family members and parents than for the students, is that the first year seminar instructors are also going to be the students' instructors for about the first semester and a half while you're here. So your academic advisor is your instructor, and they see you in class 3 days a week. One really great thing about that from our perspective is that we get to see firsthand if a student is not making a smooth transition. If I teach one of these sections, if I have students who aren't showing up for class, don't seem to know how to take notes, fail the first quiz, I don't have to email their advisor. I am your advisor, and we'll have a chat about it. And we'll talk in a way that gets you the help that you need so that you can be successful. We want to correct things as quickly as we can. For example, midterm grades are too late. For first year students, we do a 3-week check on you. Right off the bat, we want to redirect you so that you're getting the help and assistance that you need. So maybe that's some tutoring, maybe that's some supplemental instruction, maybe that's some study groups, maybe that's meetings with your faculty members, all of those things to get you off on the right path. I want to briefly mention one of our initiatives that begins with the first year. Maryville College Works came fully online last year. You're the second class to take full advantage of this program. We've always done a great job working with students and introducing them to the liberal arts. What we have found that we could do a little bit better is preparing you to go directly into the world of work or directly into a graduate or professional program. So Maryville College Works is our 4-year program to get you ready for that next step. It does no one any good if 2 weeks before graduation you go to the Career Center and say, I need a job, or I need to think about applying to grad school or professional school or med school or whatever. In your first semester, as part of the first year seminar, you will be starting some activities that will guide you into choosing a major, creating an introductory resume that you will revamp and revise over the next 4 years, and doing some career assessments and other assessments that will assess your strengths and capabilities and those sorts of things. As you see in the sophomore year, you begin to discuss, focus more on looking at specific careers and the specific steps you would take to get into those careers. Usually during the junior, maybe sometimes senior year, you'll be doing your significant practical experience. Every student who graduates from Maryville College will do something that is directly related to your personal career vocational goals. That might mean for a student who wants to go to grad school, that might mean you're doing research with a faculty member. For many of you, it might mean an internship in a field that's similar to yours, so that when you go on that first interview, you have something to talk about. You can say that you've been working towards those things, and it's a curriculum. Senior year, we're finalizing the process and just kind of making sure you have that final resume ready to go. If it's applying for grad school, we're looking at personal statements, choosing the right programs, applying to the right places, those sorts of things. So we're going to hit it from day one and kind of be on top of it all 4 years, because that's the only way to really do that type of program correctly. The Academic Major Fair, this is the session immediately following this one. Many of you might have seen the table set up out there. When we go out again, the faculty will be there with some handouts and various things. It is your opportunity to ask faculty members in each of our academic divisions questions about what students can do with a major, what types of programs that we have, what types of practical experiences we offer, the different courses. If you have a specific question about maybe you took a dual enrollment class or AP credit or something like that, and you want to ask a faculty member directly if a class is going to transfer in or what it might count for, you have those opportunities to ask them. Parents, family members, this is your one opportunity today to talk directly to the faculty members. After we split the students and the families will go through the advising process without the family members there. So families, if you have a question for a faculty member, this is a great time to take an opportunity to do that. Dean Kemp will remind you of this at the end of the session. We have about, I think, 35, 40 minutes to do that session. So some of you can stay in here and watch some videos that we'll have playing that focus on where students go after graduation. The Maryville College Works program, we'll have a brief video for that. So some of you might stay in here for a few minutes and then go out and ask the faculty questions. Some of you might go ahead and go directly out there. As you can imagine, if everybody does the same thing at the same time, then it's not going to work very well. But the faculty will be out there to answer your questions. If you're trying to decide between two majors, this is a great time to ask faculty members in both areas some questions about those various things. The way Maryville College sets up the academic divisions, and each academic division has maybe 2 to 8 or 9 majors underneath it, sometimes it's not quite so intuitive where those majors would be. So on one of the handouts you have is a map of those tables out there. On the back of that, we have a list of all the majors that fall within the various divisions. Now, there's a couple of tricky ones. Like I have on the screen here, pre-law or pre-med, you usually focus on your major area of interest. So for many folks, that might be biology, it might be biochemistry, it might be chemistry. We certainly have some in neuroscience and psychology and other areas like that. The education majors, we have a specific education table set up, but I would also encourage you, if you're looking at secondary education, to go visit the table for the area that you want to teach in. If you want to be a high school history teacher, I would suggest you stop by the education table. I also suggest you stop by the humanities table where history is. Also, for elementary education folks, you would stop by the behavioral sciences. You'll be a child development major, and stop by the education table as well. If you're still deciding or undecided, that's great. It's your opportunity to explore. All of the tables will have handouts that focus on what you can do with a specific major. So there's these major information sheets. It'll has some profiles of alums and what they've done, various classes that you would take, those sorts of things. One other slightly unique one is nursing. That's at the physical education, health, and recreation table. But your handout has a list of all of those. Be sure to take that opportunity to ask questions. At least stop by and pick up some of the handouts that we have available. So now I'm going to excuse myself, go out and make sure that the faculty are ready for you for the next session, turn things back over to Allison to talk about your orientation activities when you come back in August. One last thing I want to emphasize. We will get your schedule mostly set today. Sorry, Allison. Mostly set today. For most students, it'll be 100% set. For some of you, there might be one course that we want to tweak or add when you get back in August. When you come back in August, all of you will have an assigned appointment to sit down with your academic advisor before classes start where we can make final changes to your schedule. So if you go away and you change your major, you have second thoughts about what classes you want to take, or if you have more questions on that drive home, I promise you will meet with your academic advisor again before classes start when you come back in August. I promise. We'll force you to do it. So, thank you. We'll see you out there at the division fair.
Thank you, Jason. Some things to look forward to when you come to school in August. Some of you have already gone online and selected your orientation preference. If you have not done that, please do so. Because if you don't, we're just going to place you wherever we can. So make sure you go online and you register for your orientation preference. Some things that you'll do in August is you will meet with your academic advisor and finalize your schedule. Hopefully today you'll get as close to your final schedule as you can, as possible. But what you will do, one of the first things you do when you move in, you move into the residence hall, and then that next morning, if you're a traditional orientation person, you will finalize your schedule, and you'll be set, and you'll be good to go and ready to go to your classes. You will join your orientation group based on your preference. These beautiful peer mentors who are up here will lead the orientation groups. We have 23 different groups. We have expedition groups, we have Bonner leader groups, we have athlete groups. So make sure that you do your selection. I can't reiterate that too many times. And something that is really cool during orientation is you will participate in Mountain Challenge. I've worked at other colleges, and something that amazes me about Maryville College's orientation is it's very unique, and it's very, it gives you opportunities to do things that you probably would never get the opportunity to do, like climb a 60-foot tower. I've climbed it twice. And students, you have that opportunity, not to make you panic, but you will have that opportunity during orientation. You will have an opportunity to go canoeing, go on a walk in the woods and do a low ropes course. And it's exciting and it's fun, and you really, really get to know your fellow classmates and your peer mentor during that opportunity. And I even get the opportunity to teach one of the orientation classes, so I love it, and it's one of the things that I look forward to the most as working at Maryville College. The other things you'll do in orientation, you will learn about Maryville College's history and tradition. We have a really neat and rich history with some really cool traditions that you will actually start taking part of during orientation. The covenant ceremony is one of those. I don't know if y'all seen the covenant stone on campus, but something you do on the last night of orientation is you get to touch that covenant stone as a Maryville College student, and it's pretty cool. And then at graduation, you touch the stone again to signify the completion of your academic career at Maryville College. So it's really cool. We will talk about transitioning to college, campus resources, how to take care of yourself, the different things to do on campus, and your changing relationships, because this is a whole new world for you, and life is going to change at home, here, everywhere. And we will also tell you where to go for help. Our goals for you today, and also for orientation, well, today, because today is not orientation. Meet somebody today who's different than you, somebody who maybe is from a different place than you, somebody who has different ideas or beliefs than you. Challenge yourself to step outside your box and get to know somebody different today. Think about what you want to bring to campus, not just your items for your room, but think about what you personally bring to this campus. What have you been involved with? What is your life about? Each one of you have a story, and we want you to share that story with this campus, because you each make Maryville College community the amazing community that it is. So don't hide who you are. Come here, share who you are, and think about what you're going to receive from the community as well. Prepare to take the next step in your journey. A lot of people think, well, I graduated high school, I know everything. I hate to tell you, that's not true. I used to think that too, but you're going to be amazed at how much you're going to learn. Hopefully today you're going to start that process, or you already have. And same with parents. We're never too old to learn. Not saying you're old. We can all learn something, though. And then get ready to have a great time at Maryville College. This is an awesome place, and I'm excited. and I'm proud and honored to have you join us. So thank you. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to turn it over to Dean Kemp to talk about the family stuff.
But before I talk about the family folder and what the parents and families and I are going to be doing the rest of the day, I want to talk about anxiety. Because I know that a lot of you heard you're going to climb a 60-foot tower and you haven't heard anything since. Right? Right? Yeah. So let's talk about anxiety in college and who's more nervous than whom in this auditorium this morning. First of all, let's talk about Mountain Challenge. There are a lot of you out there who will look at me and say, I don't do woods. I'm not taking any walks in the woods. Nope, no way, not gonna happen. So let me talk about Mountain Challenge. For those of you that are from East Tennessee, you know this. For those of you that are coming to us, we are in one of the most beautiful, rare, unusual, and valuable pieces of the earth right here in East Tennessee. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park is about 14 miles in that direction. It is a tremendous resource for us here. But also, Maryville College has over 150 acres of forest right here on campus. Mountain Challenge started about 26 years ago. It was started by an alum of the college, Bruce Gilliam, who's still here. And his idea was that we would use this natural resource around us to learn things like team building, leadership, getting along, how to operate within the world. And so that's what Mountain Challenge is about. How many of you, parents or students, have ever done a ropes course? So a lot of you know what I'm talking about with that. It does not mean going out and climbing on a high wire. And I don't even know why we call it a ropes course. Very little of it has anything to do with a rope. But it means going into and having problems as a group to try to solve together as a group. So that's what your first Mountain Challenge experience is going to be. It's going to be a ropes course. Now, back to the 60-foot tower. Yes, there is an Alpine Tower on campus. You can see it. It's not an implement of torture. You will see it as you drive off campus today. And yes, all of our students are invited to climb it. We call Mountain Challenge because we wanted to challenge you. And yes, 8 years ago, I even got to the top of the tower. Now, how I got there is I had a football athlete orientation group. And I said, guys, I really want to get to the top of the tower. And I think they mostly hauled me up there. But the view was splendid, and I felt really proud of myself. So don't fret and panic over, oh my gosh, I don't do woods, I can't do this. It's just one of those experiences, those new experiences that a lot of you will have at Maryville College. And I can tell you, I was nervous too because I was a music major who didn't do woods either, and I love Mountain Challenge. I volunteer to go on the groups all the time. So as we've said all morning, open yourself up to new opportunities, and that's one of them. Now, back to the anxiety thing. A lot of your families are doing this for the first time. This is your first child going to college. We are using language and vocabulary and isms that you may be unfamiliar with. Don't worry about that. Close to 40 to 45% of our students at Maryville College are from what we call first-generation families. And so we do everything we can to help you come into the culture of college and learn how to navigate your way and be at ease about it. So don't ever be afraid to ask questions. Don't be anxious about unanswered questions. And that really is our overarching goal for today, is that by the time you get in your vehicle and drive away today, you either have gotten answers to your questions or you know whom to ask, or you're just feeling easier or more confident about the decision you've made to come here. So yes, everybody's anxious. And then the third thing I want to say about anxiety is we know that the world is divided into introverts and extroverts. And we know that when we plop a lot of you in a group and say, get to know each other, you just want to die. There are some of you who are going to go to the academic fair out here in about 5 minutes, and it's going to feel like a high school dance. You're going to stand around the side doing this, and that's in. So I'm going to give you some options and some direct instructions on doing that. But yes, I know you don't believe this, but I'm an introvert too. I'll go home tonight and pull a pillow over my head and sit in the dark because I have to do this all day. So I get introversion. But that's one of the challenges, too, of getting out of your safe place at home and learning to connect with a whole new community of people. So introverts, I'm with you, I got you, but we got to do this. Okay? So let's go to this family folder, and let me go through some of the items that are in it. Many of the items that you have are the same that your students have. A lot of this I don't think you'll need to use today particularly, but it is stuff that you need to take home with you and go over as a family. Number 6, I want to particularly mention the student information system. I'm going to be talking to parents a little bit later about privacy laws. The short is, while I have you all together, when a human being becomes 16 in the United States, they are considered a legal adult, and so all of their information is theirs and nobody else. And what that means is that, Mom, if you call me and want to know how your 18-year-old is doing in class, I can't really tell you. And so I will be as kind to you as I can, and I'll say, you need to talk to your 18-year-old. Now, there is certain information that your students have on a file, on an online file here, personal file called self-service. It's where they register for their classes. It's where their bills are, all that private information. And they can give you access to certain parts of that folder. And so that student information system talks about how to do that. We believe that this is sort of a three-sided operation we've got going here, families and students and us. And so as open and transparent as we can all be with each other, we think that's going to be more successful. There's also information about the student meal plan. We'll be talking to you more about that later as well. All of our residential students are required to purchase a meal plan. Our commuters may, and there's also other options that commuters have. How many of you are going to be commuting to college? Okay, good. We'll talk a lot about residence life today. As you can see, most people are going to be living here, and it's a big transition. But I want you commuters who raised your hands to know 25% of our students are commuters. So it's not like there's nobody else here like you. So you'll learn about that. Here's the family schedule. At the end of the academic fair, we will be separating you. At lunchtime, mamas, when you go to lunch, you may see your baby out across the room with their peer mentor. Ignore them. They need to stay with their group, and you need to eat with the grown-ups. And you can do this, but don't eat lunch with them. Their peer mentors are trying to keep them together and do some activities with them then. So control yourselves. So you see your schedule there. Most of the day you'll be with me. If you can just try your best to keep to the time so we'll manage to stay on tour. There are afternoon options, and I do know that quite a few of our families have not been on campus and have not had a tour before. So I would strongly encourage you to take advantage of a campus tour this afternoon. We'll all be here and up and going until 4 o'clock. The sessions are pretty much over by about 2:45 or 3 when you're thinking about your departure time. The bookstore will be open today so that you can buy bling and clothing like this. Mothers, when you're under 45, you tuck your golf shirt in and look all trim, and when you're over 45, it becomes a tunic. All right. Goals for families. I want you to leave today confident that your family has made a great decision and that these next years are going to be wonderful years not only for your child but also for you, that you will become part of the Maryville College family today. Now, it's about time for us to go to the high school dance. So let me tell you the options you got. It is almost 9:45. At 10:30, 45 minutes from now, families, I'll need you back in here, and students, you will have gone out into the courtyard to meet your peer mentor with the group number you've got on your folder, okay? Between now and then, there are 3 or 4 things you are invited to do. One is the food's still set up over there. So you can go to the restroom, go get some food, go get some more coffee or juice or whatever, kind of hang out and relax, okay? Go through your folders, relax. The faculty are set up here at the high school dance, out here in the academic fair. Think about things that you want to ask a faculty member. Think about the majors that you may be considering, because there's a whole lot of you sitting here that think you know exactly what you want to do, but there's a lot of you that have no idea what you want to major in. This is a great opportunity to sort of hover around. And if you think, golly, I've wondered about history, I've wondered about being a history teacher, I could go talk to them. Take this opportunity to do that. We've selected and invited faculty to do this who love first-year students, and they're very engaging, and they're ready to answer your questions. And remember, there is no stupid question. So participate in the fair out there. Food Services will also have a table out there, and also the Academic Support System or Center will have a table out there. That's the center on campus that runs all of our academic support, tutoring, study groups. And so some of you may have some questions about how that all works. So just rotate around and see what you want to see. And then the third thing, as Jason said, is come back in here. We've got a couple of videos for you to see. One I think you'll be really interested in is a videotape of a lot of our alumni who are out doing successful jobs now. And those alumni have been interviewed and talk about how they connected MC Works and Maryville College liberal arts education with what they're doing now. And I think, parents, you'll find this informative and reassuring, too, that there is some end game in all of this. Okay, you ready? Go to the dance. Have a good day.